When I was in the 6th grade, I really wanted to know what the word cleavage meant because someone said it, and the teacher wouldn't tell me. But I was a smart little kid, so I just bided my time, and the next time we had free time, I went to the computer and I went to cleavage.com.
Perfection.
I feel like the first time my wife ever saw somebody getting fucked in the ass was because she typed whitehouse.com into Google.
Yeah, that one got people all the time.
What a genius. What a goddamn genius.
Yeah.
Can we take a second to appreciate that a person is like, oh, I get to register whitehouse.com before the U.S. government? It's like, that's not going to last long. Eventually, the U.S. government's going to be like, you know what, fuck you, you can't have this site. And they're going to pay me $5 million for cyber squatting.
And they
but
just
until
said,
then, wee!
I was one of the 6th graders who got baited into looking up Motherless.
Oh no.
Oh no.
By the 8th graders.
Because if you're jerking off, there's nobody who's like, where's porn? Probably tits.com, probably girlbutt.com. Oh, I know, White House. Like, you're not going to get anybody looking to jerk off. You're only going to get 4th grade girls trying to do a fucking presentation. Like, whitehouse.com isn't even good bait. You're only ruining lives at that point.
Weren't there a couple that sounded like normal websites, but like they could also be construed as something else? I'm trying to remember.
But that was back when porn sites was just like, it was all paywall. So like you would go to the paywall and it'd be like, here's some previews of what you could see. It's like censored stuff.
And you get like 4 of them. Yeah.
It was all censored stuff, and you're like, I don't care that there's like Jimmy Carter's face over this girl's nipples. I can see most of her tit. I'm into it.
It's
got
like the
me.
Weird, it's like the weird Mormon style of like
the bubbling. Oh my god. You've all heard of this, right? Has anybody in chat not heard of bubbling?
I know what this is.
Heard it called something other than bubbling, but yeah.
I need so many more
Nope.
scraps.
Paul, I don't know if it's what you think it is.
So for those who don't know,
yeah.
bubbling is a thing that like religious conservatives do, where they take a bikini pic or something like that, and then they use like Photoshop or Paint or something like that, and make these bubbles of opacity. So that like the whole background's opaque, but then they cut out circles of the girl in the bikini, so you can see like her whole midriff in one of the circles, and then you can see like her arm in one of the circles. And if you have enough circles, that's where her skin is, and like they
effectively censor out the bikini part.
Yeah, the like the bikini part is opaque,
but
and
they use like a pattern. It's like a pattern.
Yeah. It's just like it's like you took like a cookie cutter and then stamped out, all of her clothing. And then it like she's not naked, but she looks naked. And it's just like, man, you put so much work into it. But it's not just that. Have you heard of like soaking?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I thought you meant. I thought you meant soaking.
Never heard of it.
Oh, there's
wait,
okay,
Corbin, are you
soaking.
serious? Corbin,
Yeah,
are you serious?
I'm serious.
Okay. Soaking is the thing
boy.
Mormons do, where it's like, if you don't have any friction, you didn't fuck. So the guy just like inserts himself, and then they lay there like, this is nice.
That's weird.
And then there's a thing called jump humping, where a third person will like kick the guy in his ass rhythmically. And he's like, I'm not doing any thrusting. This is just a thing that's happening to me.
I heard it was the way I heard it was jumping on the bed. Like you jump on the bed.
Oh, you jump on the bed? All right. That's crazy.
Version of group sex is a college student jumping on a bed while the two of them lie there motionless.
Listen, man, they go hard at Brigham Young.
Okay, I've done what I wanted to do with the paint.
You think that means that there's someone who just has a reputation as like a good bouncer?
He's like a fat dude. He's like,
They just got game.
I was in so many.
I've had like 8 threesomes.
I probably should have, instead of spelling FU, I probably should have spelled BSB in retrospect.
What did you do?
He painted FU on the boat.
Where?
Look on the deck.
Oh, like literally, I thought I was looking on the wall. Corbin, I'm disappointed.
How can
You should have done BYU since we're having so much fun at there.
I've been working at this for a while.
The F could be a B.
I had to get the paint. I had to.
The F could easily be a B with a little more paint. Good point.
The U could be a Y. We can do this.
Oh, I can do it. But I need infinitely more paint.
So Paul's the only one that's gonna get this, but that's fine. Paul, one of my formative experiences working at a GP.
Oh yeah, Paul's the only one who understands GPs. Good
Shut
point.
up.
Well, I was working with Justin, if that's a good premise. And he was like, I'm sure you may or may not know, but he was very meticulous about the handwriting on the sleeves for the pricing. And so he marked some card as like a 7, and then he was gonna put it in the case, but like we ran out of sleeves, and then like something happened or whatever, and he needed to change it, and he tried to like turn it into a 13. And he got so like OCD about it, and Brad was just losing his shit the entire time.
Just tell me it took at least 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
Perfection.
he had to like leave the booth, and then Brad just grabbed it. He's like, "I'm changing this fucking thing." Like, I don't give a fuck. And that was one of my formative experiences at like one of the first GPs I ever worked, was like dealing with Justin in that situation.
I made a painting.
Yeah, this industry, you learn how to deal with us who are unique individuals fairly quickly. Otherwise, you just leave.
Are
Yep.
we drifting aimlessly, or has somebody?
We were
turned-
going. I was checking the
Bro, check out this picture.
the coordinates.
Oh, I'm gonna starve to death.
We're closing in on the next spot.
I have
We should be able to see it in a minute or
I
two.
can't do it.
My YouTube autoplay is taking me to warehouse collapses now.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Okay.
You're not gonna be able to narrate because they're all in Chinese, but
One of my favorite YouTube autoplays that I got, like the rabbit holes I went down to, I ended up on Australian dash cam footage, and that was a treat.
crikey, as he runs over a
Animals
kangaroo,
and- yeah.
flips his jeep.
I remember I was hanging out with a girl when I was in my early 20s, and somehow I think she suggested that we started watching car accidents.
That's
Red flag, but go on.
No, sometimes when you are a young person who's very excited about certain things,
Yeah.
you ignore
Mhm.
other
Mhm.
possible
Mhm.
details
Mhm.
that might be relevant
Mhm.
to your decisions with regards to those other things.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We've all been
We
there.
have to learn lessons somehow. That is one that I learned.
Can't wait till close this.
Yeah, until like 7 a.m.
was it like bad car accidents, like r/watch people die shit, or
They weren't fucking good, DJ.
I mean,
Watch people die does he having a door?
because like, you can watch like car accidents from afar and be like, oh wow, that was pretty crazy, or you can like watch dash cam footage of like car accidents.
But like the
Remember, this
crazy
was like
thing
2008.
about that kind of stuff is the stuff that bothers me the most is not the gruesome car. The worst video I've ever seen online was the brick
I
through the
don't wanna-
windshield
I
one,
don't want to talk.
where the
about
guy was
that.
just driving and
I
then
don't
a
want
brick
to talk.
comes
I
up the
don't want to
truck.
talk about that video, man. That video
Yeah.
was fucked.
That was
I knew,
way worse.
I
than me.
knew that's what you were gonna say because that's the
Yeah,
worst video.
exactly.
Because
Because
that's the worst.
universally, everyone's like,
It's the worst video I've ever seen.
0% gore. Like all you see is the windshield with a hole in it, but it's like the worst video I've ever seen. And I wonder why that experience is universal. I wonder why that bothered me more than anything else. But
I
yeah.
think it's because your mind fills it in, right?
Yeah,
Like everyone's mind gets to make it the worst possible thing for them.
I mean,
in
it's
that
the same.
situation.
It's the
Well,
same as
well,
like
in this video, Paul, it is the worst possible thing. So like, I think it's just, I don't know. I think that
Maybe you
you're
can
used to
empathize-
watching movies with crashes and shit in it, right?
Yeah.
And so that doesn't phase you. It's the emotion, the like real emotion that can't be faked that fucks with you. Because like
Yeah.
you're like programmed to just like feel that shit like in your soul. It's like when a baby cries. It's like when your baby cries, man. It like doesn't that shit just fucking kills you because you're
First thing we
biologically
did was-
programmed for it.
I think we had some sedans getting eaten up by trains.
I think like super insane gore videos look fake to me. Like that's
I
a
try to
thing, too.
avoid that. Once I had kids, I just had to start avoiding that stuff. When I was younger, I'd watch whatever, but like these days, I won't.
Yeah, my
Sounds
dad used
like
to
it.
say shit like that.
Like
My dad
that.
was like, I couldn't handle the movie Pet Cemetery because the little boy gets run over by a car. I'm like, you fucking pussy. And like, then I had kids, and like, I can't handle shit half that bad.
Yeah.
Like if anything happens to kids, like
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "Oh, your mind will change when you have kids." I'm like, that sounds dumb to me, but like that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like my mindset changed. I'm not like, "Ooh, I can't handle thinking about that." But like when I see something like that, I react viscerally. It's not even like my attitude changed. It's like my stomach got weaker. And I think that's weird because I just assumed that I would just like, I'd be like, yeah, that stuff doesn't bother me and it never will. But I don't know, man.
I'm curious to see if that happens to me because every single time anybody has ever told me, "Oh, you'll feel different about this when this happens," or "Oh, you'll change once you'll say," like it's never affected me, anything like that. So I'm curious to see if that works too. If that's different too for me. Maybe Jason's right. Maybe I am just like an autistic sociopath, which would be interesting.
When did I ever call you an autistic sociopath?
If you called me autistic before, and you've called me a sociopath before, so A and B.
True. You gotta say both.
That sounds like something I'd say.